As you can see in this picture, this cap is really worn. So we're going to go ahead and fix it. Now as you can see here, I've already got it repaired. This is my finished product. And I'm going to show you the procedure how to do that. All right, I bush the barrel on the front and I also bush the cap on the back. So I've got to make a tool so that I can bore these holes out. So I use the 3/8 inch keyway stock, drill the 1/8 inch hole into it, and this was my finished tool holder. I got a burr in there that I'm going to use to actually bore out the barrel and the caps. Here's my setup, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be boring out the inside of the hole on that cap. And we'll get to more of that in a minute, but I just wanted to show you what it's going to be looking like. All right, so let's get to work. So we're going to start from the beginning. Here we go. Right. So I've got a barrel here, and I actually already bushed the front of this barrel. Okay, but if you look at the cap here, hopefully you can see this okay. There's a lot of wear here, see? And that's just not going to cut it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bush these caps. I'm going to use my mini lathe, and I reverse the jaws of the chuck so that I can hold my cap in there. Let's get started. Okay, so first things first. So I made this nifty little tool holder here from 3/8 inch keyway stock. I drilled a hole through the vertical face and threaded it so that I've got a set screw for my tool. Now this tool, I took out of my Dremel kit, and it's a burr. And I'm going to use this to bore out the inside of the cap. I'll also use it to bore out the inner diameter of the bushing to size it for my for the shaft of the barrel. All right, so here I've got the chuck, and I actually reverse the jaws of my chuck so that I can hold my cap. All right, now different chucks, you can reverse the jaws in different ways. On this particular style of chuck, the way you reverse the jaws is you take the jaws are actually labeled 1, 2, and 3. So the 2 stays in position at the 2 position, but the 1 and 3 actually switch positions when you reverse them. So that's how you do it on this one. And you put chuck jaw number 1 in first, but with reversed, you put number 3 in first, then you put number 2, which stays the same reversed, and then number 3, but is actually jaw number 1 in a 3 position. And then you tighten it down, and they should all go in concentrically. Okay, I've got my little handles here that I use. I'll hold the cap against my chuck flat as I tighten this, get it snug, and then I'll give it a nice pull. And then when I turn this on, it should rotate. Whoop, I gotta plug it in first. Okay, I always have it unplugged when I'm reversing the jaw and doing things like that, just for safety reasons. So now that I turn this on, I'm going to spin concentrically. And if it wobbles at all, then you've got the jaws in incorrectly and you got to redo it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is take my tool here, and I'm just going to round this hole out. Now I already know the size that I need. I'm actually going to remove that existing bushing and replace it with an 850 bushing, because it's there's not enough material there to stick a bushing inside there. So I'm just going to replace the whole thing with an 850 bushing. That's 8.5 millimeters. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bore this out until that bushing is no more. Okay, so that takes care of that. I got my bushing out of there. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to size this hole for an 850 bushing. Okay, we're actually in luck here. This hole is 7.04 millimeter in diameter. So I'm actually going to use a 750 bushing, 7.5 millimeter bushing. So that means I have to do less cutting, and I got a smaller bushing in there, which I prefer. Now, because I don't have a dial indicator, I'm not 100% sure how much I'm cutting. So it's kind of laborious, but I got to measure it each time or take the bushing, see how close I am to fitting. But I want to get it about 0.003 of a millimeter smaller than 750. That would be 7.47, I'm sorry, 0.03 of a millimeter. So 7.47 millimeters is what I'm going for. And then that way I'll be able to press in this 750 bushing. Okay. So I'm very close. So I'm going to take it out and measure it with my calipers. Okay, 7.19 millimeters. So I got about 0.28, right? Millimeters to go. Okay, guys, so I did what I don't recommend you do. I went too big. Okay, way too big. So, looks like I'm going to have to go to an 850 after all. Okay, guys, so it looks like I have success here. 8.48. All right, so my bushing should press right in there. Pretty good. So this is what the original looked like. All right, so you can actually see the bushing is sticking out. All right, it's about 3 millimeter height from front to the end of this bushing. So I have a 3 millimeter high 850 bushing that I'm going to press into the hole that I just cut on my lathe. Okay, so look at that. There you have it. So this is I gotta size the bushing for the arbor, which here is 6.06 millimeters. The inner diameter of this 850 bushing is 6 millimeters. So I just gotta take a tiny little bit off. So here we are back at the lathe. I'm going to stick my cap back in the lathe, hold it flat against my chuck, tighten it down, snug, make sure, good. And I'm just going to take off a hair here. All right. So because my lathe is not super accurate and I don't have a dial indicator, I just want to be careful I don't open this up too much. So we're just going to move my tool out of the way and I'm going to see if my shaft fits. Okay, it doesn't fit yet. Pretty close though. So I'm going to give it a little bit more, take a little more off. Okay, we're going to see if my piece fits. Not yet. Okay, let's see if that did the trick. Move my tool out of the way. We're going to see if my shaft fits. Almost. Almost. Just a little bit more. Okay. Let's see if we did it. Oh, look at that. It fits. All right. But, yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay. Take it out of there. Pretty good. I think I might just take a hair off. Just one more pass. It's a little tight. Okay. Want a little bit looser than that. All right. Give it a go. Oh, yeah. That's real nice. Okay. Got some play. It's not too tight. It's perfectly round. No solder necessary. It's pressed right in there. Okay? So that's the technique I used to bush a cap for a barrel. I put this guy right on here. Okay? Oops, sorry, you can't see that. Let's back out. So I'm going to put this right on there. Looks pretty good, huh? All right, so I'm going to press that on with my press. Okay, guys, so here's my finished product. All right, so I put the cap on. There's my cap that's been bushed. Front of the barrel's been bushed. We use the same technique on the front, except you got to reverse the jaws to hold the barrel in place. All right, and then when I put the cap on, I want to make sure I have back and forth end shake. All right, that bushing inside, which was protruding, can't be too long, or it'll not fit properly and be too tight. Stop your clock. Also, you want to make sure that the spring doesn't hit that. Okay? So I hope this video was helpful to you, and thanks for watching.